Welcome back to the sessions. This is East Coast FM. My name's Elmo. I am joined in the studio. No, I'm not. I'm joined by a video call with Gordon Robertson. Hello, Gordon.
Hi, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine, thanks. This is very strange tonight because I'm doing this from home and you are at home.
Yeah.
Very, very strange setup.
Yeah, it is. To be fair, it saves me having to drive to Haddington, so that's quite
That's
helpful.
true. It does. It saves the petrol. We're more eco-friendly this way around.
Yeah.
Tell me, we better explain that we've worked together in the East Coast studio a few times, and we've also worked out there in the field doing gigs and bits and pieces together a few times. But tell the listeners about yourself.
So I am a singer-songwriter from Glasgow, or at least these days Glasgow. Initially kind of Edinburgh and all that, but yeah, more recently I'm in Glasgow these days. And yeah, so I've been kind of doing this singer-songwriter thing for about 6 or 7 years, maybe a bit longer now. Kind of lost track. And yeah, sort of full-time musician, singer, performer as well. Obviously not at the moment, given that the world's in a slightly strange state.
It's a very strange state of affairs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But yeah, up until pandemic hit, certainly I was out performing every weekend, several nights a week, and earning my living that way. And yeah, subsequently now I teach singing online full time. So if anybody out there is looking for a singing lesson, look me up.
Be in touch with Gordon Robertson. We'll give out your details, your Facebook details, and any other social medias that we need later on in the show. Let's kick off with the first track. Are you going to play 4 or 5 songs for us tonight?
I've got 5 on the list. We'll see how we
right.
go.
We'll see how we go.
If we can stop us talking, it's probably more interesting to listen to the music than it is to listen to us talking. But we'll see how we go. So I'm going to start off with a tune called "Back to the Start," which is an original of mine, which you can find on Spotify along with 2 others. The plan was actually to record some more stuff in kind of May time, but of course that all went out the window at the same time.
It all went wrong, yes.
It did, and so yeah, I guess at some point I'll hopefully be able to go down to London and record a wee bit more. But in the short term, it's 3 songs I've got on Spotify. This one's called "Back to the Start," and it's my most successful single to date so far. It's I think sitting currently around about 250,000 streams, which is awesome.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, as I say, by far the most I've ever had on anything. It got playlisted onto an editorial playlist on Spotify, which explains why it's had so many streams. But yeah, feel very lucky to have it on that playlist, and long may it continue. So yeah, this is Back to the Start. When the days are long and the nights longer still, just one thing I want to see, only you holding tight until the morning light, bringing love back to me. You get me through troubling days with your enchanting ways, gently healing my heart. You make me the man I am, shepherd, my wandering lamb. Take me back to the start. Life is hard, that we know, always another blow. They say that's how you grow, but then you pull me near and those thoughts disappear, saving me from my low. You get me through troubling days with your enchanting ways, gently healing my heart. You make me the man I am, shepherd, my wandering lamb. Take me back to the start.
Thank you very much. That was the beautiful sound of Back to the Start by Gordon Robertson, right here on the Sessions, broadcast from Gordon's house to my house, back out through East Coast FM. So many cables, so many miles of distance that song's just travelled. It's unbelievable the amount of stuff we can do nowadays.
It is.
Have you done any open mic nights or these live streams that have been going about on Facebook?
Yeah, I've done a fair few. I started off doing plenty actually, sort of March, April time. I think I was kind of at that point acutely aware of how quickly everything had disappeared out of my diary. So I suddenly found myself with Fridays and Saturdays where I was supposed to just sit in the house and do nothing. So I think at that point I was quite keen to try and replace things as much as possible and, you know, kind of keep my hand in, as it were. And so I did a few streams with a Facebook page called Sofa Stage Wales. So I did a few with them, who kind of did lots of stuff like that. I haven't kept up with what they've been doing more recently, but I'm starting to do a wee bit more streaming again. So I think I've got one coming up on Saturday this week, and it's, I believe, at about 4:00. So yeah, it should be all over my Facebook and maybe even on Instagram. It'll, you know, I think maybe be on YouTube as well. But yeah, the kind of more people I get along to these things, the better, because it's always nice when, you know, you can connect with people and people request songs and lets you feel like there's still kind of other people in the world and
an audience out there somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's quite a strange one though. I don't know if you've done any yourself, but yeah, when you kind of, you know, you finish a song and then there's just this kind of silence and you know, normally you'd be kind of waiting for an applause or something.
Yeah.
Something. You almost feel like you should pipe it in, kind of, you know, hit a key on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Or something. But,
It's a strange Casio keyboard noise, isn't it? I haven't performed any myself, but I've been doing these video calls and live interviews this way for the last few weeks, and they've been going really well. But we've had good responses, but it's not the same, and there is something missing about having that personal interaction. But I can't thank you enough for doing this for us tonight.
I'm delighted to be here.
Let's move on to track number. I tell you what, before we move on to track number 2, tell the people how they can be in touch with you. So your Facebook page, your YouTube channel, have you got a Bandcamp and Spotify?
Yep, so Spotify, it's just my name, Gordon Robertson. You'll find me on there, as I say, just by searching for that. I think currently I'm the only one there. But yeah, so you can find me on there on Spotify, as I say, that track and a couple of others. Maybe the next one I'm about to play as well. Facebook is Gordon Robertson Official, but again, you can search for Gordon Robertson singer or music or whatever and you'll find me.
It should come up, yeah.
Instagram, it's at Gordon Robertson Official. Again, nice and easy to find, as in, you know, because of all the other Gordon Robertsons that are pretending to be me. I'm kidding on, there's none. But yeah, you can find me on there, as I say, pretty easily as well. And yeah, I've got a website, gordonrobertsonmusic.com. There's a merch site on there, so if anybody wants a t-shirt, go on and buy them. There's all sorts of ways to get in touch. Generally, if you Google me, you'll find me.
As normal, I'll stick some links up on my Facebook page when this does eventually get broadcast on FM and the YouTube channel gets updated with this video. I'll stick all that up for you near the time. You might see me in a minute or so taking a picture of you with my phone. It looks a bit strange, but then it's one that I can stick up on the Facebook feed.
Absolutely.
So let's move on to track number 2. Tell me about the second song.
Sure, so this is another one that's on Spotify actually. And I've not, as yet, when I've come to the East Coast FM studio, I've never brought a keyboard with me, purely because I'm too lazy to carry one in.
Right.
But, and I had to be fair, I've got a nice Taylor guitar to play as well. So, you know, I've kind of got an excuse. But I don't think I've ever performed this one live for you before. So, this is one, again, it's on Spotify, called Boys Will Be Boys. This is a slightly more depressing song about getting bullied at school. And yeah, more or less for sort of 10 years straight. So it's a lovely kind of cheery tune. Yeah, it's one that, you know, I think I'm quite proud of, and I'm pleased that although having been through a pretty nasty experience, you know, I got a good song out of it in the end. You know, that's kind of I've kind of won, I suppose, in that sense. But yeah, it's one that, you know, I entered it for a songwriting competition with. Is it Only Entertainment? No, that was the Vodka Lemon Lime one. The other one was Listen Up Music did a songwriting competition, a company called Listen Up Music, and they're based in Australia. They're a charity, but yeah, they kind of give all the funds from their work to charities for musicians that look after their mental health and things. Because as we know, artists, you know, tortured artist is not just a cliche. It's people who actually really struggle at times. Especially times like now, you know. So. Anyway, it's one that I entered into that competition, and I made the final of it. So we went to London, me and the band, and we performed it back when that was a thing. Remember gigs?
Yeah, remember gigs,
And so we didn't win, but we got, because we were a finalist, we got put on their kind of compilation album for the year. So that's what it's on when you look on Spotify. It's under my name, but it's on part of this.
It's on there.
Album.
Yeah.
And there's some cracking tunes on there besides, so worth checking out. They're not all as depressing as this one. Anyway, this is Boys Will Be Boys. You sit alone in a cold, empty room, same old school hall, a familiar gloom. You shut the door, try to drown out the noise, the chanting, teasing, hey, boys will be boys. 4 years you've been here, one more still to go. But you remember back to before you could close the door on the rabble, the names and the pain. You'd stare into the darkness and listen for rain. Why am I not allowed to live my life? Why am I the one on the outside? Why am I trying to be more like them? Why have I begun to hate who I am? The more they tell you, the more you believe that you're the reason why they all seem to make you the target, to prank and to prey on all that you do and all that you say. Why am I not allowed to live my life? Why am I the one on the outside? Why am I trying to be more like them? Why have I begun to hate who I am? There's nothing to make you feel better after everything's taken away. Good friends, love and affection, your confidence day after day. When there's no actual interest, your life doesn't matter to them. Good grades, success and your talent mean nothing without any friends. Why am I always by myself? Why do I have to live this hell? If they walked a mile in my shoes, they'd learn some memories last much longer than a bruise.
That was the beautiful sound of Gordon Robertson right here on the sessions on 107.6, broadcast from his house to my house out through East Coast FM. I still can't get my head around how we're doing this and how things are happening. It's too much. There's too many things. My brain can't.
We'll just say it's magic, right? We'll just say
it must be magic.
Somehow by the medium of magic, we've ended up
the medium of chaos and despair. Despair. That's it. Maybe.
Stuff, right?
Yeah, that was a very sad tune, but thank you very much.
Thanks.
Boys Will Be Boys. You said it was available on Spotify,
and all major streaming platforms, as they say these days. Yeah.
Robertson.com.
Musicians put their music to get no financial.
That's it. That's the other downside of Spotify, isn't it?
Give back. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Tell me a little bit about your musical experiences. So how did you get into music in the first place? A little bit of musical history for me. Was it commonly it's a family thing, or it can be something you picked up in high school? It doesn't have to be either of these two things, but they're two of the kind of most common answers.
Common ones, yeah. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of both. So I come from a pretty musical family. Mum and dad both sing. Grandparents sang. Cousins, all of them sing. So that's kind of a total pain when there's family get-togethers.
Yeah.
It just becomes a bit like a competition. But yeah, so that was as it was, and my mum kind of trained as an opera singer and did a lot of musical theatre stuff, and and so I ended up from the age of about 6 or 7 years old singing in a cathedral choir in Edinburgh, Episcopal Cathedral. So I was a chorister there and sang every day for like 6 services a week kind of thing, and did that for like 6 years. And funny, I was just saying to a singing student of mine before I came on here, obviously at that age, first of all, you've not really got a full kind of understanding of what's going on anyway. And you're, in that situation, you're singing in foreign languages like Latin and Italian and French and German and whatever else. So for me, it took me a long time to actually kind of think about what I was singing. It was more for me for a long time about the melody and the music and the the kind of rhythm and that stuff. I never really connected to the words I was singing until I was much older, and I started writing my own music. And it was at that point I started to kind of go, right, okay, this opens up a whole new kind of avenue. So yeah, I then started writing songs maybe from about the age of 14, 15 maybe, and really kind of branched out into more popular music at that point. Sort of broke into it through jazz. You can hear some of that, and obviously Back to the Start, pretty jazzy, and some other songs. And have kind of branched out similarly from that point onwards. And there's obviously now I kind of do it full time, and it's much more kind of popular music than it is classical. But it was a good grounding, and it gave me a lot of kind of musical skills that I think I take for granted. So. Yeah, there's I guess a bit of a history of me.
No, I'm always interested to find out how people get involved with music. It's always you said, like I said, it's very common. One of two is always an answer, but to hear the kind of opera singer thing or the classically trained church singer, I had no idea. But thank you for that. Thank you for the story. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I know.
We've had a few people on that have said similar things. What was the lady's name we had on a few weeks ago? My mind's gone totally blank. It'll come back to me in a minute. Probably when you're performing it, and I'll have to pick this conversation up after your next tune. Tell me about your next tune, and I'll rattle my brain.
Sure. Right. I'm gonna do a new one that I wrote kind of just as kind of the year began. And then kind of finished it off as we were kind of in lockdown. And it's one I kind of just sat down to write a song one day, as sometimes you're supposed to as a songwriter. Sometimes people go, we need songs, and you have to go, right, okay, I better sit and write a song then. You don't really
better play something, what
you're writing about. But I kind of sat down to write a song, and it was kind of a blustery day, and the weather was a bit crap, as it always is. And came out with something like this. And then, as I say, I finished it off maybe a couple of months later when we were right in the midst of kind of being stuck at home, and actually the weather was improving, and it ended up sort of taking on this new meaning of kind of I guess kind of reflecting a wee bit of what life's been like in 2020. So this is one called A Change in the Weather. It's as yet unrecorded and kind of basically brand new, so it's almost an exclusive. This certainly the first time it's been on the radio.
Thank you very much.
That is if I can remember how to play it, because I have not played it for quite a while.
A change in the weather.
Exactly that. Let's see if I can remember it.
That's what this show's all about.
Kind of winging it, I guess. That's what I do all the time. Storm clouds gather, wind it sings, harmonizing with these strings. Looks like nighttime trees, they sway. One thing's certain, there's been a change in the weather today. Phone lines holding tight above, and the air feels like it's just discovered that it can make leaves do ballet. One thing's for certain, there's been a change in the weather today. Who'd have known it yesterday, that this storm of calm would make us stay home to watch the threads of living fray. One thing's for certain, there's a change coming today. Let the rains begin to pour, washing out the ills of yore, wastefulness and great excess no more. So hold on tight to the things you love, 'cause you just don't know when they might get summoned to ride upon the winds of change. Look out the window, the world is different today.
That again was the beautiful sound of Gordon Robertson. That was a change in the weather right here on the sessions on 107.6. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I remembered it.
I remembered it. Yeah.
More or
There was
less.
there was that one wee jazzy chord there, and I thought, oh, there was that. No, it wasn't a mistake. No, that was meant to be in there. I was listening. You see, I'm paying attention all the time.
He's not just off to go and get a pint when he switches the video off.
I can't go anywhere. I'm in my bedroom. I'm in my house, so I can't go anywhere. And this is going to be really strange, and it's going to sound even stranger because hopefully on Wednesday coming, I'm going to broadcast this on FM, so I'll hear this all back again. It's going to be really weird listening to us talking about Wednesday. It's going to be really kind of Inception thing going on there. I'll deal with that on Wednesday, and I'll let you know if we're going to broadcast it on Wednesday. It might be next Wednesday, but we'll wait and see.
I can tell all my fans.
We'll stick it up on social media. The lady we had in, I had her on the video feed. It was Kimberly Donoghue. Right. Kim Donoghue was an opera singer. She toured with the RSMA, Royal Society of Music Association. Okay. She did huge big opera tours, and that was the young lady that we had in a few weeks ago. Nice. So very similar in terms of backgrounds, but yeah, very interesting. So at this stage in the show, in the interview, I would normally ask you like plans for the future? What are you going to be doing?
Let's just have a pause for a laugh for 5 minutes.
Well, I'm glad you're laughing about it, but it's really it's quite sad actually. Yeah, it's quite.
It is.
It's unbelievable what is going on.
It really is, yeah. Little did I think that the next time I was on East Coast FM would be remotely and, unable to say about gigs or...
It's all kind of strange. Have you got anything penciled in? I mean, we've got a big festival coming up that hasn't been mentioned yet in East Coast in July.
Okay.
That's a wee while away.
Mm-hmm.
Hadstock might be happening again. I think that might be March.
I believe I've got it in my diary, depending on
It
vaccine
might be cancelled again.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, it was a shame. I was supposed to be playing again this year, but yeah, obviously for the reasons that we all know, that didn't go ahead. But yeah, looking.
So have you got anything else penciled in your diary for any gigs for anything?
As I say,
No is an acceptable answer. That's not a...
Other than streams and stuff, as I say, I've got this one coming up on Saturday about 4:00. And then, the hope that I'll be able to record at some point in the not too distant future. Gig-wise, again, it's like weddings in 2022 that I've got at the minute. Assuming, of course, by that point, everything will hopefully have been back to normal for quite a while. But no, beyond that, I was supposed to play Butte Fest this year again with my band for the third year in a row, and that all got cancelled. So I guess Butte Fest next year is probably
Butte Fest next year, right? Okay.
Butte Fest and Hadstock next year are probably the only things penciled in at the moment.
Penciled in with pencil and question marks, just in case.
Robert sat next to the diary.
Yeah, just ready to go. Just ready to drop that out.
Exactly.
It's been all kinds of strange, isn't it? It's all crazy.
I'm doing a lot of songwriting though in the meantime, and not just for myself. I'm working with a company called Song Glorious, who kind of launched amid lockdown stuff in America. They're based in Brooklyn, New York, and they've now got a big team of songwriters, of which I am one. And essentially people kind of write in to request songs for events in their lives, or in the first instance. So the song I wrote, the first one I did for them, was about somebody's dog that had died, and they wanted a song that they could let their daughter, who was very young, hear when they grew up, to remember the dog.
Okay.
So stuff like that, you can basically, they've got a very famous or infamous one running at the moment on their Instagram and their Facebook, which you might see if you kind of check out their page.
I'm going to have to make a wee note of this and then check it out later.
Of a guy who asked for a song to be written for his girlfriend because he had found out without her knowing that she'd been cheating on him, and so he played her this song. To let her know that he knew and that they were over.
So wait, what we think this through. He found out and she didn't know he had found out. So he contacted a company
to write a song that he could
to ask somebody like yourself. It wasn't you, but could have been you. Could have been, but wasn't. To write a song about him breaking up with her so that she could hear it. Yeah. That is ridiculous, but I'm going to have to check it out.
It's mental. So it's a whole thing. But yeah, it's been good fun, and most of it's been writing songs for couples and their anniversary, or that sort of thing. So it's been lovely, and actually I think has helped me a lot with my own writing for my own material, because it's reminded me that, hey, I'm actually not bad at this songwriting thing, and I don't need to be so precious about it. I think whenever an artist, certainly myself, when I go to write a song that I'm going to perform as me, I'm always a bit like, well, it needs to be perfect, and it needs to, if it can't be perfect, I'll just not do it. So, to actually just have to write down a song to a brief, that you've been given for somebody else, it kind of reminds you of the skills you've got, and actually the kind of, as I say, the sort of technical elements of writing a song that you've kind of got quite good at. So it's been nice for me in that sense to just kind of write again, and of course what I do is I write it and then I record it, I produce it, and send it off. So it's working to pretty tight time schedules when you take a song on, but it's really good fun, and I've enjoyed it a lot. So yeah.
And do you just do that recording from home? Have you got a wee studio set up?
Yeah, I've got what I need. So I've got my condenser mic there, and it's wee kind of vocal booth thing,
dome shaped. Yeah.
Aye, everything that I basically need. A MIDI keyboard and an audio interface and Cubase, and I'm kind of all set to go, more or less. I've even got my cello here, so I can record if I need to. So aye.
Very interested with the cello. I might bring that up, and maybe our next interview. Maybe you could. Maybe I'll write to this company, email this company, and get you to write me a tune on the cello.
Sure.
About about lockdown and doing sessions through video chats. Maybe
Why
that's
not? Let's do it. Yeah, give me the most challenging thing ever.
maybe.
Actually, the funniest one, right, was I had to fit in somebody. So it was a couple, and so they had met online, kind of a bit later in life. She was based up in Dundee, and he was based down in Northumbria,
Right. Okay.
or kind of near Newcastle sort of area. And he was a truck driver. And she wanted included, right? So sometimes people include phrases or lyrics they want to be put in the song.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she said, I would like you to put in what he first said to me on Match.com, which was, I would crawl naked up the A1 over broken glass with a dead camel on my back just to meet you.
And you had to throw that into a tune.
So that became, I would crawl naked up the A1 over broken glass with a dead camel on my back just to meet you.
Oh, very nice,
So,
very nice.
Honestly, madness. If I can manage that, I'm kind of thinking that's probably the most difficult one I might have to do, but we'll see. I've yet to be surprised by it. Something else.
I'm going to have a wee nosy at this. We're going to have a wee look.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to the fourth tune you're going to perform. Tell me about the fourth one.
Well, at this stage, I thought I'd throw in a wee cheeky cover because I know that's something that you like to do on the show. So
I do. Better explain as you're getting set up there with your capo. I occasionally cover a lunchtime show here on East Coast FM, and I like to throw the kind of last half hour. I like to change up the last half hour and play well-known covers or reasonably well-known covers of songs that are performed by local artists. Gordon, you're not local at the moment. You're from Glasgow,
Yeah.
But you are Edinburgh, Glasgow based. That's close enough. I'll include you this time, right?
Thank you, appreciate that.
Right.
Everybody's local now. It's all on the internet.
Well, that's it. That's it. The world's such a
People
small
on
place
from
now.
New Zealand next week.
Well, why not? They could get involved. Right. Tell me this fourth tune.
So this is a cover of a song which I had to do for a first dance back when I used to sing at weddings in the year 2019 and whenever. And it's called In Case You Didn't Know by Brett Young. Ooh, that's sounding a bit funky.
In Case You Didn't Know by Brett Young.
It is. It's all very professional, this.
That's all right. We could go back and cut this bit out, but it's live radio and it's a live video call, and that's what it's all about.
Exactly. Well, you don't
there
want
is
another
no
one on the radio that's out of tune, do you? So there we go.
No, well, there is that, but we could go back and fix it. But why it's not natural? It wouldn't be as laid back and as interesting, I don't think.
Exactly.
So we'll do the intro again after the false start.
In Case You Didn't Know by Brett Young. In case you didn't know, no, in case you didn't know.
That was In Case You Didn't Know, originally by Brett Young, performed by Gordon Robertson, right here on the sessions on 107.6. Gordon, thank you very much. Beautiful song again.
Thank you. It's a nice one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. I was watching your hands there, trying to work out what chords you were playing, and you were doing that D with the F sharp thumb thing over the top.
Yeah.
See, I can play guitar, right? I mean, I do a bit of teaching here and there, but that thumb over the top, that F sharp, is horrible to play that.
It's a tough one, yeah. I kind of came across that a wee bit. I can't remember what I was playing now, but it's probably something I had to learn for a wedding. Most things are, and I don't know, quite like a wee D with an F sharp in the bass.
Yeah,
but
I was teaching. Now we're totally off topic now. Totally gone off your subject, off the subject of you. I was teaching a few weeks ago, and I was watching Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day play a live session of Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, and he did that D with the F sharp on the bottom, and I thought, that's not right, that's not how you play it. But he was playing it, and it's his tune. Well, so I was like, I don't know if you can hear the F sharp, but he was definitely playing it with the thumb over the top.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, the thumb over the bottom, because it's the bottom of the guitar.
I suppose it is, yeah.
You know what I meant. Over the top of the neck, the wrong way around. But yeah, that one, I need to try and learn it, sort that one out. It's one that's annoying me anyway.
I can't play an F chord, really. I can play the bar F, but I can't do the old that
full pen
that looks like a higher C thing.
Yeah, it's the wee bar at the top with the wee steps in it. Yeah, interesting.
Never particularly taken to that one for some reason.
No, it's only 4 strings. Totally off topic. You were just talking about guitar theory. That's all right.
We're losing them. Come on, we're losing the public.
We could do a whole show. I could do a whole show on this anyway. Right, before we move on to your fifth and your final tune, tell me again, your next live stream's on Saturday. How can people be in touch with that? How can people do that? And tell me again about your social medias, your Bandcamps, your Spotify's. How can people be in touch with you generally?
So, next stream, as I say, is Friday about 4. It could be 4, it could be half 4. There's a wee bit of an onboarding process I need to do with a company I'm working with, first of all. So whether that's, as I say, 4 or half 4, it'll be on Facebook. I'll let you know. It'll be on, I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube or not yet. I need to kind of look into the further details of this, but certainly it'll be on one of them. Yeah, so people can check me out on there, Facebook, YouTube. It's Gordon Robertson on YouTube, youtube.com/Gordon Robertson. It's Gordon Robertson Official on Facebook, but again, if you search Gordon Robertson Music, you'll find me. It's Gordon Robertson Official on Instagram. I may end up on there on Saturday as well. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't fully kind of worked that out, but yes, nonetheless, there's stuff on there that you might be able to see. You hopefully will be able to see if you follow me. And Spotify, again, Gordon Robertson. You can find my stuff on there. As I say, two of the 3 tunes I've played today are I've played 2 of the 3 songs today that are on Spotify.
Oh, I see. Yes.
I got a bit muddled up in my mind there. That's more or less about it. My website is gordonrobertsonmusic.com. So again, there's stuff on there. If anyone's looking for a singing lesson, it's all done over Zoom. It's all COVID safe or COVID secure or whatever the relevant phrase is today.
Yep.
So yeah, you can get in touch on there as well. There's details on my website about that as well.
Absolutely brilliant. Just let's move on to your fifth and your final tune. After that, we'll say a quick goodbye, and then that'll be us finished for this evening. Tell me about your fifth tune.
So I'm going to do a song which was on Spotify, then kind of came down, and it hasn't yet gone back up. But there is a version of it on a recording that I released on Bandcamp and some other places. So I mean, again, if you want to buy one, you can do. The recording is called Connected Live, and it was actually one that I did for my final uni assessment gig back in 2017 when I was doing my BA honours at the Academy of Music and Sound in Glasgow. And I performed it at that gig. The whole gig got recorded, so I took selections of that gig and put it on a wee disc that people can buy. They're still sitting in the back of my car. I sometimes sell them at gigs. Mostly covers. It's got one original on it, and the original is this one called As the Batteries Run Dry. And it's a song that I wrote when I was at college in Motherwell doing pop music, and we did a songwriting module. And so this was probably the first song I ever wrote to a brief. And clearly that, as I was talking about earlier with the song Glorious stuff, that became quite a useful skill. But yeah, as I say, this is probably the first song I ever wrote to a brief. The brief happened to be for a song for artists like Jason Mraz and James Morrison and Bruno Mars and these kinds of people. So it ended up being a song that actually fitted my own kind of project anyway. So I kept it because nobody else took it anyway. So this is As the Batteries Run Dry, and I hope you enjoy it. When it's right, you know it. It gives a light. You show it. Your face, your very being, it's the love that we're all seeing. It's that light, you glow it. Though we're two, we're still one. Those small differences make it fun. In the times when we have plenty, even when my wallet's empty, though we're two, we're still one. Connections, we make hundreds of them every single day. The ones online, the ones at work, even when we kneel and pray. But as we grow and years go by, we'll feel our batteries revive, because I know you're there with me, my baby. Ooh, my baby. In those days before me, you were young and you were lonely. But now I fill your days with my irritating ways. You do so much for me. When I wake, I see you looking at all my best view. In the mirror with your comb, it's the best alarm I know to wake up and see you. Connections, we make hundreds of them every single day. We share a thought and scroll away all the pointless games we play. But as we grow and years go by, we feel our batteries revive, because I know you're there with me, my baby. Ooh. When I get a lot of time to sit alone, it can be easy to get down and then get angry on the phone. But if I take it slow, my memories remind me that I know that as our film runs out of time, and as life's batteries revive, you'll be right there with me, my baby. Ooh, my baby. Ooh, my baby. Ooh, my baby. My baby.
That was As the Batteries Run Dry, performed and, well, written and performed by Gordon Robertson right here on the Sessions on 107.6. Gordon, thank you very much. Thank you for being my guinea pig for this live video session tonight.
No problem at all, my absolute pleasure again. It was one of the very first radio things I ever did, was coming on to East Coast FM to the sessions, and thanks for giving me the opportunity again to spread my music around a wee bit. And yeah, I'm glad to be able to be the guinea pig for the virtual kind of session on video chat. So
no, thank you again. Yeah, well, we can do it again as soon as this one's broadcast. We can stick another one in the diary for whenever we've got anything else to promote, or when you've got when you've been in the studio and you've got something to release, or you've got something else you want to give a wee shout out to. We can do this almost any time. Just let me know.
That would be fab. I will do, man. Thank you so much.
Right, that's it for me. Thank you very much, Gordon.
Thank you.